Hello everyone, welcome back to Aussie Starcraft, bringing you some more Heart of the Swarm action. Bottom left hand corner as our blue Terran we have EGaLive, and the top right hand corner is our red Protoss we have iGJim. Now these players, well, Alive's no stranger to our channel. It's the first game I believe that we've casted of Jim's. Jim's an up and coming Chinese player, not Korean player. Don't fall into the mistake of assuming that everyone that plays Starcraft is Korean. Jim is in fact Chinese, excellent Protoss player, trying some quite nifty little Protoss builds. I myself was mimicking one of his builds recently in some ladder games, just for some fun. Jim is trying to pioneer some interesting Phoenix Colossi play, particularly against Terran. So we'll see if he favours that sort of style in this game against Alive, or whether he busts out something new to show us. Really looking forward to what these two players have prepared for us. The map is of course Neoplanet S, very interesting map, both for Protoss and Terran players alike. We have a number of factors make this map an interesting one. One is just how easy it is to secure and hold your natural, particularly for Terran. I mean, siege tanks, widow mines, bunkers, so many defensive tools at their disposal make it very easy to hold this and get a quick expansion. Quite a wide round of attack for these two bases. You can attack it almost down two very large fronts with air units. So we'll see if that plays into this game at all. Particularly the Protoss having to defend against drops. Drops quite popular, particularly if you choose this as a third base. Units can swing in and attack the third, and when the ground army moves up from the natural, they airlift into the main, and it can be quite annoying to deal with. Jim's already got 6 drones in his 2 geysers, so looks like he's going for some sort of early tech. Will it be Stargate? Will it be Dark Templars? I want to say Stargate. Having seen some of Jim's games, he does very much like Phoenix, even against Terran, which is quite odd and seems a bit counterintuitive. You know, you would expect Marines to slaughter Phoenix quite mercilessly. Phoenix not being able to shoot ground units and only lift up units to shoot, but being superior against air, of which Terran fields very little. But he has a very interesting style where he uses those Phoenix to kill drops in the mid game and keep himself very safe, and then he uses the Phoenix in the main battles to tank for his Colossi, and it just has a very neat build order, and it just does surprisingly well against Terran, who you'd expect to have all the answers for it. So we in fact have a proxy Stargate in the middle of the map, so if Jim's going to be building Phoenix, it's going to be in the middle of the map. I'd like to think this will in fact be an Oracle out of this first, and whether he'll go Phoenixes or something else afterwards, we have yet to see. Jim will likely be trying to deny any scouting now. He doesn't want his opponent up in his main base, seeing how much gas he has mined. These pro players are very good. If they sneak anything into the base, they'll click on these geysers. You see it shows how much gas has been mined and how much remains. You'll know that Jim has pulled some 600 gas out of these geysers. Trying to get this work it before he can get to the other geyser. Who likely knows how much has been mined out of this one. Will he know that there is in fact a void ray? Right, not what we were expecting out of Jim. I would have thought Oracle, would have thought Phoenix, would have thought so many things, but Void Ray against Terran is a particularly bold choice. Terran's basic unit, the Marine, excellent against air. Void Ray mainly good against armoured units. So what will Jim have for us? We have 3 more gates coming down, so looks like 3 gate Stargate aggression. We have a second Void Ray. Oh, I want to say that Jim's going to use those Void Rays to try and break this bunker. Looks like Alive's pulled all his harvesters back into the main base. I don't know what gave him the idea something was coming, but he knows something's up. He's dropping additional bunkers here now. Where are those Void Rays? 2 Void Rays here now. These will be the units that need to collapse these bunkers. Surprised not to see more of the Marines in here. I think he was worried about an Oracle. Did he get sight of that Stargate? He did scout that Stargate, so probably expecting, like we were, an Oracle or Phoenix. He sees these Void Rays coming in, he'll be thinking, what the heck? Sentries dropping force fields, preventing these bunkers getting repaired, and these Zealots going to work. Bunkers down already, so we have Zealots, Stalkers, and Void Rays versus Marines and SCVs. These Marines pushing out with the SCVs to tank the damage. What will Jim do here? Can he warp in some more Zealots? These Zealots need to go to town on these Marines. We've got a third Void Ray, so still no Oracle. Oracle would have done tremendous damage against these, but the Void Rays fulfilling their purpose in killing these bunkers. A lot of mining time being wasted for EGaLive. Though we can see that he has a worker up here in the main base scouting what's going to be the follow-up. There's more bunkers going down. Can he get any more pickoffs? If we look at the income tab for both these players, it does have Jim substantially behind EGaLive, so EGaLive just not going to be held off his macro game, just going to be ploughing along. Production tab showing almost nothing for Jim, just some pylons on the way. Can he bust this third bunker? He does, but these Zealots just can't tank enough damage. Marines going down left, right and centre. 3 Void Rays working down this bunker. Nice pick up there, but these Marines, as soon as... luckily for Jim, the saving grace, there is no stim pack on the field yet. If one stim completes, this aggression will very much be over. But can he even get it done in time? These Void Rays able to exploit this big angle, picking off these add-ons, managing to force EGaLive back into his main base. This is crazy out of our Chinese player Jim. You just don't see pushes like... You don't see plays like this, particularly on Neoplanet X. So going for the Void Rays, who would have guessed? Jim always bringing out innovative plays. Lots of Marines here on the high ground, unable to quite get the angle to damage these Void Rays. Too much distance between the low ground and these Void Rays, having to lift up the barracks to try and save it. But looks like Jim's just going to smash in EGaLive's front door. We're not used to seeing this happen to EGaLive. He is very much the aggressor in most of our matchups, but Jim just not having a bar of it. One base all day long. Who needs to expand? Just build Void Rays like a boss and stroll up the Terran Ram. That's how we do it. You heard Protoss were weak in the mid-game, not according to Jim. One base timings all day long. Oh yeah, force fields here, trying to keep most of these Marines out of the action. It'd be very cost efficient for Jim. If we look at the units lost tab, it's almost double for EGaLive. How are these players going to react? This missile turret is doing tremendous damage to the Void Rays. He really needs to take that out if at all possible. More bunkers being thrown down, and and a few probes on the way for Jim. We'll see if he does in fact expand behind this. I would expect him to try to expand, but whether or not he can spare the minerals to do it's another issue. Still no stim for these Marines. These Void Rays will it go down? Yes indeed, he will get a pick off there. Nice work for EGaLive there. Oh, force fielding these Marines in. Unfortunately, force fields his Zealot out of the action, and only one of these bunkers has Marines in it. No, EGaLive, what are you doing? He's repairing the bunker. Can it hold? All these Stalkers, no, 2 bunkers full now. There's a very poor trade for Jim to take. He will pick up these Marines, but the Marines go straight into the second bunker. Really needs to be more cost efficient than this. Repaired bunkers with Marines in them are going to be able to do massive damage to these gateway units. Needs to pull out. He's going straight for the corner. He's going to pick up lots of SCVs. We have 22 workers killed here, but if EGaLive can clean up these Stalkers, he'll be able to expand back to the low ground. Jim will be behind yet again, but Jim, no intention of expanding this game, just continuing to warp in Stalkers on the low ground. The pylons now in the natural expansion. It looks like EGaLive's going to pull SCVs and try and take these out. We have SCVs tanking Stalker damage. This just the craziest TvP I've seen in a long time, particularly on Neoplanet S, where it's almost a guaranteed mid-game game with both players taking an easy natural expansion. Look at Jim just powering in here. He doesn't care. SCVs pulled off the line again to tank damage. More SCVs going down. We have 38 workers killed this game. These Marines are using the SCVs as a meat shield, trying to gun down these Stalkers, but this Void Rays up to 15 kills. Stalkers going crazy. SCVs dying left, right and centre. What is this game? This is ridiculous. Jim warping in more Zealots more zealous infantry needs needs to keep alive from being able to expand. If Alive can bring his command center back to the low ground, it's all over Red Rover. He's going to want to force field this ramp. As soon as these units get down it, he is going to force field. No high ground vision is going to be a very poor engagement for Jim here. Really need something here to be able to spot the high ground. These Marines roaming back and forward. Still no stim pack at the 15-minute mark. You know you've got a crazy game when that's happening. When you're still relying on Marines to hold off gateway pressure. What is Jim's follow-up? Still no follow-up. 4 gates, no expansion. Jim bringing a worker down. He knows he's almost mined out in his main. He's got only 400 minerals left on these patches. He has to do something. He has to do it soon. Jim just hell-bent to hold on to this base, and we have Alive scanning. He knows that there's no follow-up behind this, but he himself has no factory, no medevac, no way of getting out of this base. His own base almost mined out. He has only 2,000 minerals left here in these geysers, in these mineral fields. What can he do? He's forced to... Oh, stim pack finally going down. 15-minute stim pack. That's definitely the timing you want to hit. Not at all. Finally, the Oracle. Jim deciding he needs to make some headway in this main base. 1 missile turret here, but plenty of Marines with combat shield. Will these make it down the ramp? He's got to be so careful. The sentry able to cut that force in half with a force field and just pick it off in pieces. Finally have a Robo and a Nexus coming up. Jim looking to expand. 16 minutes. Definitely not your usual expansion timings. Powering a few probes. He'll be substantially ahead if he can hold the foot of this ramp for just a minute longer. Alive has to know. He's got to know that the time to move out's now. Cleaning out the plate, making sure he doesn't misclick when he does make the crucial move down this ramp. He can salvage these bunkers if he can move out and use that money to build his command center. But he just does not want to be picked apart by these stalkers. Second Nexus is now up for Jim, and every second he has that is going to be another nail in Alive's coffin. Where's that Oracle? Oh, if we look over here, Alive trying to sneak his expansion. The Oracle will spot that. Alive comes down the ramp. Marines and Marauders able to secure his natural expansion. Woohoo, 18 minutes. Both our players have an expansion. You would, if it wasn't for the 2 players involved in this game, you'd think it was a much different level of game, just from the odd strategies employed by these 2. Jim showing us that he's got all the strange moves. Oracle moving into the main base, able to kill a number of Marines, but no SCVs. Really wanted to do some more damage to the economy of our Terran player. These Marines, I imagine, will clean up this Stargate very soon. Proxy pylons getting picked up now. And Jim forced to try and hold his natural now. It looks like Alive will be bringing the hurt. But Jim here is well prepared for this. Managed to buy himself the time he needs to get his Colossi on the field. Alive likewise taking up behind this. He picked up his starport and factory in that little section there and starting to mine hardcore on this natural expansion. Dropping units like a boss. We have 4 Marines and a Marauder at a time, but Colossi production underway now for Jim. Does in fact have one on the field already, a second one queued up behind this. So the real question is, with how late these medevacs are coming to the party, will Alive have any time to get his Vikings out? And I think the answer is unfortunately no. So we'll see what happens when... Oh, big scan. Did he catch the Colossi? I think he did. He's pulling back. He knows that he cannot win this engagement. Colossi will put that at a substantial disadvantage. Throwing down some missile turrets. If you're wondering what this turret is for, it is not for anti-air. It is in fact for that Colossus. The big giant head of the Colossus counts as an air unit so high, and he'll be trying to keep those out of his base, and any sort of DT run-bys that might be attempted. We have these medevacs trying to move into the main base. Colossus here ready to pick these up as they unload. More gateways going down. Will Live choose to drop these, or he'll move into the natural at the same time? One Colossus down here. Nice force fields from Jim. Pick up a lot of these units. Few free Marauders there. Medevacs forced out of the main base. We have a terrifying army of probes and Colossi trying to hold the main base. This medevac drop is going to come back in and cut off these cut off these pylons in the gateway. Oh, Jim's moving his whole army into the main. Oh, it looks like iGJim's not going to swing it off. That Colossi does go down, but these Zealot Warp-in are going to continue to cause a big problem. Both our players on virtually one base mine as their main bases are mined out. Ooh, almost able to pick up that medevac. Unfortunately for Jim, not with his usual Phoenix production. He can't pick off these drops as easily as he would normally. Not used to having to deal with so many drops. His Phoenix Colossi play generally very good at preventing any drop action. They have one Viking on the way so far. The units tab, I think it is just that solid note. 4 Vikings on the field, so almost able to engage this with some confidence. Probably 4 more Vikings, and I think we'll see iGJim getting quite bold and wanting to push this base. So we can see a massively oversaturated expansion down here. It's the one mining base of Jim to the one mining base of iGJim, and some of these units picked up nice force fields there. Are going to cut these units off. Colossi taking some damage, but not enough Vikings in the air. Sentries and Stalkers able to clean up these Vikings. One Colossus at a half health, but most of this bio on the ground being picked up. I think we're going to have iGJim force bank, more force fields catching this bio army, more and more pick up. If we look at the units on the field, we have a nice sized Protoss death ball to 18 Marines and 4 Marauders. Only 2 Vikings on the field. I think iGJim really had to wait until he picked off those until he picked up a few more Vikings. He needs to be able to kill these Colossus. 2 Colossi on the field are going to continue to give Jim the edge he needs in this engagement. Production still got Vikings on the way, but unfortunately producing off that one starport, it's Vikings or medevacs. You can't have both, and he's got one almost dead medevac and one no energy full health medevac, so not the position iGJim wants to be in at all. A few Marines down here making life difficult, picking off a proxy pylon here and there, ensuring no troublesome shenanigans from warpins, but both these players seem content to mine on single bases. We have one base mining here. Oh, Jim poking at this front door. Have 4 Vikings on the field, more force fields going down to prevent these units being able to bust out. Have sentries and stalkers trying to pick off these Vikings. He really needs to micro and pick off the last couple of Vikings. Pick off this Viking before his Colossi goes down. No, he's going to be forced back. Unfortunately for Jim, really needs to keep this Viking count down. His only advantage at this stage is his Colossi. He needs to keep these Viking numbers right down. Both our players still stuck on one base. His stim by is not where he wants to engage. I don't know that he has enough force fields to make this worthwhile. Colossus almost going down. Is going to go down. The stim by is going to do massive damage to these gateway units. No, Jim, you don't want to take this fight. These Marauders doing massive damage, and Jim forced to tap out of that game. What a game from both these players. Such a different. And we had 4 Vikings up here. What were these Vikings doing? Anyway, we had what a game from these 2 players. Probably heading. Yep, they are on attack move, looking for any other forces that might be moving out. Or Jim forced to tap out of that game. Such a good game out of both these players. So it's just tooth and nail, back and forth for 25 minutes as both players struggle to mine off more than one base at a time. It was a very neat sort of pick up from Jim to go Void Rays to try and bust in the front door. You don't see that every day, particularly against Terran, so almost making it work here, but iGJim managing to wear him out long term, pick up those Colossi and stim bio, even with just the 1 or 2 medevacs, able to do massive damage to the remaining gateway units. GG for both these guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be uploading this one. Hope you guys get a kick out of it. I certainly did, and we'll catch you all in the next cast. Thanks guys, don't forget to give us the thumbs up. We love you and grateful for all your support. Thanks guys, have a great one.